Quality of team. The following are 8 FAQs, or frequently asked questions, around the QoT, or quality of team tool. FAQ number 1. What is the QoT? Answer. A deep yet efficient assessment of the quality of a company's leadership team. All private equity investors are familiar with QoE reports as an essential part of private equity pre-deal diligence to reaffirm quality of earnings of an acquisition target. QoT, or QoT, performs the same diligence function, but rather than on a company's earnings integrity, on the quality of team that makes up a company's leadership assets. FAQ number 2. Why'd we build it? Answer. Private equity investors have a host of advisors, consultants, and providers of all kinds of diligence for many risks an investor may take on when adding a company to their portfolio. Earnings risk, insurance, legal liability, market or technology risk, and more. Yet there's been precious little expertise available to diligence company executives in a quick but thorough and systematic way. All QoT assessments are geared to be done in a time frame and with a lightness of touch that doesn't needlessly slow down a close or unnecessarily spook the management team currently running the company. Because private equity and their portfolio companies have grown to appreciate our firm's expertise and differentiation in the area referred to as executive assessment and selection, we were asked to unbundle this expertise from our search work and offer it as a carve-out service to our investor clients. Private equity firms have learned the maxim that when an executive hire goes bad, it's usually because, quote, we hired the resume but had to fire the person, unquote. Said another way, prior success doesn't correlate as highly as we'd like to future success. Why? Because not every executive performs equally well in all companies or systems, cultures, and personality chemistries. A proven all-star athlete is a superstar performer in one team, but then fails to thrive in another. The QoT helps private equity investors diligence executive team members in 5 key vectors. Number 1, the QoT assesses executives both as individual performers and as a team. Number 2, the QoT assessment includes psychometric personality profiling of values, motivators, personality, and likely derailers when an individual or team is under pressure. Number 3, the QoT can assess likely executive team performance in different business contexts, from peacetime growth mode environments to wartime survival and or pivot scenarios. The QoT also delivers a scouting report that can identify executive flight risk post-transaction. The QoT, number 5, can also help identify false positives around teams that look cohesive and harmonious on the surface, but may be simply acting the part and exhibiting first date behavior until the transaction is completed and their paydays arrive. FAQ number 3. When can the QoT best be deployed? There are 2 key points along the private equity ownership timeline where QoT can make a significant contribution. The first is during pre-deal diligence, and the second is post-acquisition during the first 100-day value creation planning period. FAQ number 4. Where can the QoT best be deployed? The QoT can be used again in 2 core private equity events. The first is for platform company acquisitions pre or immediately post-deal, as mentioned above. The second, and often equally as important, for add-ons or tuck-ins to existing platforms where any of the following 5 value creation levers may be part of anticipated synergies. The first is team integration planning. The second is team rationalization or executive redundancy. The third is team upskilling or top grading when looking to cherry-pick certain possible executives from add-ons to upgrade existing platform executive team. The fourth is succession planning for platform executives opting or aging out. And the fifth application is new function creation of first-time expansion positions to the existing executive organizational chart. Examples can include adding a full-time corporate development role or other similar. FAQ number 5. How does the QoT work? The QoT is powered by a set of proprietary assessment tools. These tools are then deployed, synthesized, and assembled by PhD psychologists with pre-existing expertise in middle market executive performance, built from thousands of similar prior executive assessments. The The QoT report delivers a readout on the following: individual executive team psychometric assessments, current company culture, teamwork habits and team interdependencies, mini individual executive team 360s, economic climate team stress testing, wartime versus peacetime leadership aptitude. And the last, recommendations to private equity and or board of directors on how individual executives and or the whole team is likely to be best managed to generate highest company performance. FAQ number 6. How long does a QoT typically take? From our experience, as short as 3 days and as long as 2 weeks, with average times of approximately 7 calendar days. Variables affecting delivery include size of executive team, availability of executive team, and any backlog of committed client assessment work we may have. Rush pricing may be available but can't be guaranteed. FAQ number 7. Is there science behind the QoT, and if so, what is it? The QoT has been built on top of peer-reviewed and well-documented research around company and individual attributes. For individual psychometric profiling, talent sequencing uses one of the best-regarded tools that is based on the gold standard of personality profiling, referred to as the 5-factor model, or the Big Five. For company team values and culture, the science used as the basis for the QoT assessment was pioneered by Quinn Rohrbach, who created the Competing Values Framework. This framework divides culture into 4 quadrants: cultures that are either collaborate cultures that value doing things together, create cultures that value doing things first, control cultures that value doing things right, or compete cultures that value doing things fast. FAQ number 8. How much does the QoT cost, and how can you learn more about the QoT and how you can put it to work for your team diligence needs? The QoT is a productized service. Typically, the total cost is between $15,000 and $20,000. This is dependent upon a number of variables. Reach out to discuss further with one of our expert consultants to get a more accurate estimate of cost and time to complete.